The rural town along the great trading path. The company shops, the hosiery center of the South. Each of these are names that were once used to refer to the land we now know as Burlington. Trade, railroads, and textiles are the foundation upon which Burlington was built. Today I will be sharing with you the founding history of Burlington. We will look into the key points of Burlington's history, which includes trade, Burlington's founding, the railroad industry, and textiles. First, we will look into the early history of the town we now know as Burlington. Burlington was first mentioned in writing in 1670. Alamance County's website states that Dr. John Letter was writing of the Native American trading path and mentioned the area when writing of Orange County. Dr. John Letter was a German explorer who wrote the following of the area. 14 miles west-southwest of the Onox dwell the Shakri Indians upon a rich soil, and yet abounding in antimony, of which they showed me considerable qualities. Finding them agreeing with the Onox in customs and manners, I made no stay here but passed through their town. Burlington was again mentioned in 1701 when Burlington explorer John Lawson wrote the following of the area. No man that will be content within the bounds of reason can have any grounds to dislike it. And they that are otherwise are the best neighbors when furthest off. Burlington was first inhabited by Native Americans, but was later settled by immigrants from Germany, Quakers, and Scotch-Irish immigrants. Preservation Burlington, a site that is dedicated to maintaining Burlington's history and educating members of the community of the history, states that Alamance County was created when Orange County was partitioned in 1849. First known as company shops in 1857, the town later became known as Burlington in 1886. Burlington has humble beginnings, but began to flourish with the introduction of the railroad industry. As mentioned earlier, Burlington was first known as the company shops. Don Bolden, chairman of the Burlington All-American City Committee, says that when individuals in the area learned of a railroad line across North Carolina, they campaigned for tracks through our area as the town was rural and needed economic stimulation and growth. Individuals in the community were so eager for the railroad to run through Alamance County that some even offered up land as a place for railroad repair and maintenance shops. These shops led to the name company shops. Company shops became a booming railroad area and was known for its part in the railroad industry for nearly 3 decades. In 1886, the shops that created company shops closed, and along with those shops left the railroad industry. Mr. Bolden states that instead of the town dying, citizens decided to rally together and turn the town into a new direction. And nothing calls for change like a new name. Company Shops was then renamed to Burlington. In the early 1900s, the Industrial Revolution began, and Burlington played a large role in the industrial achievement in the United States. 2 influential men in the community, E.M. Holt, in which the elementary school is now named, and Jen Trollinger, established more than 8 mills along the Hall River, the largest river in Burlington. These were water-powered mills, and the Textile Heritage Museum, a museum dedicated to educating members of the community about Burlington mills, states that we were the first mill in the South to produce colored cotton fabrics, and it was named Alamance Factory. It became famous for making the popular Alamance plaids. Mills were also the largest employer for Alamance County residents. The Textile Heritage Museum reports that in 1950 there were 54 hosiery manufacturers in Alamance County. Almost all citizens of Alamance County worked in a textile or hosiery mill from the 1920s to the 1950s. Trade, railroads, and textiles are the foundation on which Burlington was built. Burlington grew from a small rural town along the great trading path to a railroad powerhouse to the hosiery center of the South. Burlington is a small town with a big history.